You know, every time I start one of these, I'm not quite sure I'm ever doing it right. I just kind of let Chris do everything on his end. Hey everybody, it's good to be here. Is the music working or is it not working? It's been a while. I'm pretty sure it's there. I know it says no music is playing in the top of the thing. You hear it? Okay, cool. Let me know if it's too loud. It's really quiet. All right, let me turn it up. I'm always afraid of making it too loud. Um, just because I have no idea how it's gonna translate. Like, how loud am I hearing it? How loud are you hearing it? Um, I'm doing okay. A little tired, but I'm always tired. It's my perpetual state of being. I've kind of just gotten used to it. That sounds good? Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind. 75% is the volume that I want to have it on, VLC player. I don't know why it doesn't list according to Snaz or whatever anymore, but all this music's Rocco W. If you have Spotify, check him out. He's rad as hell. I'm gonna spell it in chat. It's good to hear from a lot of you. Minor, Valentara, Lily, Blue Lip, Giz, everyone else in chat. So I had no idea what I was gonna do. I felt like giving Chris a break. I kind of put the burden on him to do all the streaming by himself for the entire month of October. Not that I wasn't doing things, it's just I was busy working on something. Who knows? Who knows what that could have been? I have no idea. Anyways, I figured, hey, he never gets a break from streaming, though I do offer every now and then. And we haven't done an art stream in a while. So yeah, I wanted to do something. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have any idea. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was working on this the other day. Because I thought, oh, we could do the D&D thing, but I wasn't really feeling it. I do want to get back to that at some point. But, thanks, Hal. It's not weird at all. But yeah, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I didn't mind doing an art stream. I didn't have any idea, and I was working on this anyways. So I was like, well, I'm working on this new intro anyways, where I take the Couchling. We have the Nintendo avatars that everybody knows. But we don't really have a special intro. We had one way back when, kind of like with the Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I did like a mock intro. But I kind of wanted to do something and have some kind of special intro. So like just like with Hollow Knight, how we had the main thing for that, or with the Christmas and / holiday and the Halloween one. I like doing special intros. One of the cool things about how I designed this intro was I wanted to make it modular so that if I ever needed to do anything in terms of changing out assets, it wouldn't be too difficult and I could make it look special with a decent amount of work, but not too much work, enough to where it's like you replace a couple things, change things up a little here and there, and it's usually pretty easy. And that way I don't have to change the main part of the intro, which is like the 10 more minutes logo part. Like that's a little bit more intricate. That takes a lot more work. But on slower, minor scale, like lower scales, changing like the Couchling, like for Hollow Knight, not that hard. Changing the character select, not that hard. Doing this Link one, harder just because Adobe's changed a lot of things, and I don't know why. Yeah, I also realized I've never really done an animation art stream, so even though I kind of started this a little bit, I figured you all would probably get a little bit of a kick out of this and kind of seeing how that goes, since we've done a couple of like illustration art streams. Yeah, so I don't really know where I'm going with this. We're just gonna kind of get into it and kind of just go from there. So what I was working on last night is just working on the different assets and different parts. Basically, like this is the whole room, and does a couple of different zoom panels when you go in. So like you have the original thing where the console clicks in, swoops up, and then kind of zooms in. And then after that, it just kind of changes. I do this in one separate part. This is Adobe Animate, which is both my favorite software to use and my least favorite software to use all in one. I love it and I hate it all at the same time. It's a really good vectored program, but it's also really frustrating. at times too, but it's the one that I learned on. It's the one that I've gotten used to. I love it and I hate it. It's like Photoshop. Well, actually, I mostly just like Photoshop. Photoshop's fine. Adobe Animate, I don't know. Some days I wonder, but I don't have the money nor want to make the money to try and get Toon Boom. And I've built so much of the stuff out of this that it just doesn't make sense to do something new. Speaking of cinnamon buns, I bought a mask with the cinnamon bunnies on it. That sounds rad. Now I'm hungry. Even though I just had a yogurt, so I shouldn't be hungry at all. But you know me. I'm a giant contradiction, as Chris likes to put out. But yeah, I do most of my work in After Effects, for at least not After Effects. I do it in Adobe Animate when I'm creating the software, like the animation itself. And then, sorry, you might hear padding. I'm trying to get lotion out of this thing because my hands are dry as heck. And this bottle is almost empty. That doesn't help either. You need to eat. You so skinny. Yeah, but I used to be really fat, so I'm happy with being skinny. I don't want to be big anymore. I'm happy being the, what am I, like 157, 160-ish range to 155. Trust me, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not skinny. I'm not like skinny like my brother was in high school. That was skinny. More than happy with my current weight. Let's see. What do I want to start on first? So yesterday I was just trying to figure out how to pull the sword out. I know that Link is left-handed, so I might flip this when the final animation is done. Yeah, I'm 6'1" to 6'2", and I weigh 157-ish or something like that. I used to weigh, like, this time of year last year, I think it was like at 180-ish. I used to weigh like 280 pounds though. I used to be thick. No more, no thanks. I am now the body weight that I like being, and the height that I like being. Hopefully no one chops off my legs, because that would be unfortunate. Let's see. Turn off the sketch layer, and part of just doing these builds is going in and hopefully stuff is actually working. What layers do I have locked? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and click that off. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna reflect these two. I wanted to blow this program up yesterday. It was driving me nuts. Alright, let's flip that. And flip that over. So part of it right now is just asset creation. I'm not too worried about like a lot of stuff. What I need to do is I need to draw the arm in. So I'm probably just going to do another layer and lock these ones just in case so I don't draw over them. Cyclops Link is Cyclops Link? Yeah, pretty much. 6'2", 270. I know that feeling, Jeff. I know that feeling. It's hard to lose. So the thing that really helped me, it's been about 5 years, I think. About 5 years ago, I kind of just looked at myself and I was bummed out. I didn't like who I was in terms of like how I felt when I looked in the mirror. So I kind of just decided to, you know what? I'm going to try and work out. I'm going to try and lose weight. That lasted about 2 months and I fell face flat, hurt myself while playing basketball, and that took me off track again for like 3 months. But then I tried again later because I was like, you know what? I'm too stubborn. I'm not going to give up. So I just started walking on a treadmill for about a mile, and then I'd walk my dog for about a mile, cut my calories down to about 1,800, 1,700, mostly rice, veggies, and chicken. And that kind of helped me like lose that initial 50 pounds, like from getting down from like 280, 290-ish down to like 230-ish. I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. Kind of just kept on doing that, stayed consistent. It took a long time. It took about a year to kind of get a bunch of that down because it was doing it so slow, but I could create a consistency. So by doing it every single day, you know, by like doing that and making it something really easy instead of what I was initially doing when I first failed, which was like going hard, trying to run, trying to do really heavy lifting. But I found out that it's really just based on your diet, and if you can find an exercise you can do every day, eventually you will build up. Like, so back then I would walk, right? But now 5 years later, I can run 4.5 miles and I'm fine. You know, I can run 4.5 miles at about a 10-minute pace which, you know, good, healthy jog, not super fast. If I was like sprint a full one, I could probably get like 7 or 8 minutes for like 1 mile. But exercise is a long thing. The key to it really is finding a diet that you can kind of work in. Don't give up everything. Try and take away, like, for me, I always kept pizza, but I kind of kept it down to where it's like, okay, I cut out all the other junk food, but it's like pizza. If someone offers me pizza, I'm gonna eat it. And just knowing that it's a long journey, it's not a short journey. If you try and go hardcore and you go in the paint, most of the time it doesn't work. For some people it does. But for a lot of people, they end up stopping and then they fall off the horse. And the people that seem to stay with it are people that build up that consistency where like, hey, if it's not that hard, you can do it every single day. If you can do it every single day, it's not that hard of a workout, but if you keep on the diet being consistent, eventually it'll work out. So yeah. It's a hard process. You have to find a balance. You have to find something that works for you. So like if you are trying, for anybody that's out there, like know that I know how difficult it is. Trust me, I really do. It's taken years for me to kind of get to this weight, so I know exactly what it's like to kind of get to that. 8 hours of weightlifting and cardio. My diet is okay-ish. Yeah, cheat days are fine. Like, it's really all just about balancing. And like I said, it's about consistency. Consistency and diet really are the most important things. You don't have to eat just like only soy, or you don't have to eat like these super restrictive diets. You don't have to change too much, but yeah, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol or if you're chugging sodas, you're probably going to need to cut that out. But I don't really drink alcohol at all, ever. The only time I do is occasionally Crystal like, hey, have a shot, and I'm like, all right, it's New Year's, or all right, it's your birthday, and that's literally it. So I encourage anybody, like if you're trying to lose weight, do it slow and steady. You can totally do it. Just know that it's a long process. You know, don't try and think like, oh, this month I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. Hey, if you lose 5, like that's great. That's an accomplishment within itself. Just know that, hey, long process. Don't try and get too hampered down by like so slow progress. Slow progress is lasting progress. All right, I guess I'll just try and like go into drawing this arm now. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna create a line. Hopefully this program is willing to work with me. Now, it wasn't really doing very well before the other day. I'm kind of just working to draw this arm. Make sure the line consistency is decent. Well, is this thick enough? Part of it too is matching the line weight. So it looks like it needs to be about 1.5. Gonna bevel those edges. Probably needs to be 2 or so. Hey, trust me, I know. I like soda. I like sweet things. I have a sweet tooth. So one thing that helped me when I was trying to lose weight is just not having any sweets around. If you don't buy them, you can't eat them. Though, you know, when you have people in the household that are buying sweets, that makes it a little bit more difficult. You kind of need everyone on board when it comes to losing weight. Which is hard. You know, I live with people that made it much harder in my early years of working out. But I encourage anyone, like, you can do it. You could eventually get to where you want to be. You just got to know that, hey, it takes a while. It's like getting better at art, honestly. It's really no different. It's a long process. If you try and rush it, you're probably just going to be disappointed that you don't get as far as you want to. But if you take it into totality of everything you've done, and you look at the full year of where you've gone, you're going to see way more improvement. But it's hard getting that mindset. It's hard to kind of shift into that perspective. Trust me, I know. Hopefully this is thin enough. I'll flip that collar up. Let's see. Oh wow, thank you 5 sets of 7. You are currently subscribed for 5 months. That's awesome. Makes me, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, working out is hard for everybody. It really is about finding, like, what balance, like, because everybody's body is different. Everyone's going to find a different workout routine, a different diet, and stuff that works for them and doesn't work for them. But I do believe with consistency, anyone can kind of achieve like their goals when it comes to that. Really, when it comes to anything. I did Bozage a little bit. Honestly, I like Eureka better. To be frank, which is not the opinion that my FC has when it comes to the Final Fantasy XIV content. A lot of them love Bozage or whatever that new content that was added, but it's a little too easy. Like, it's fun, and I like the raid battle at the end. I think that's cool. But in terms of like compelling content that kept me going for a while, I kind of liked what they did with Eureka. I think Bozage is good though. I enjoyed it. I ended up getting my relic. Yeah, like, I think it's good. I think you should play it if you have the chance. I think it's a step in the right direction for a lot of that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I liked Eureka better. I'm a fan of Final Fantasy XI though, so I think that's part of it. I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much, because a lot of it, the thing that I enjoyed about it is it forced you to do group content, whereas you don't really need to do that for Bozage. You can kind of just do it solo. It doesn't really matter. The only times I've done it have been with FC friends, especially since they made it so you can just go into the open world and do fates to get it done. It becomes really easy. Yeah, like, quarantine hurts a lot of people. For me, it was a bit easier when it came to working out because I never liked going to gyms. I hate gyms. I can't stand them. If you watched Fury, you heard a little bit of my rant about people in gyms. I don't enjoy them. And also, I was very self-conscious when I was losing weight. I was very lucky. My dad had bought a lot of gym equipment when I was younger, so I could just work out at their place when I was like first getting into working out. So they had a treadmill, and I had access to different materials that I could use that helped me a bunch. But I do feel like even just something as simple, because I don't go to a gym or anything for working out anymore. The majority of where I lose weight is I go running around in our neighborhood. So I like get a good pair of running shoes and just start out by walking. Don't worry about trying to run a mile, just walk a mile. If you walk a mile or 2 miles each day, you know, it's gonna add up. And walking is not too hard, at least for most of us. I know it is for some people. I don't want to take that away from anyone that does have trouble because of different things. Wow, that must be nice, Hell. Like, nice and probably annoying in some ways too. Like, it definitely feels like it's a little bit of a double edge. Yeah. But I think it was good, Valentara, in terms of like the DLC. I think it was fun. But it didn't take very long, so it just like kind of like I did it and I'm done and I don't really need to touch it anymore. Enjoyed it. Would like to do more of it maybe at some point, but yeah, there's not much else for me to do with it at this point. Now, usually I don't give the Couchling an outfit, but this is special. Link's my boy. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is the first game that I ever played, along with Super Metroid. So I felt like, I kind of want to do something a little special for this guy. Yeah, like an hour 30. Oh. That stinks. I totally get that. Well, hopefully you start feeling better soon and your recovery process doesn't take too long. Yeah, getting into running can be hard. I feel like you have to build up to running. It's definitely taken me a long time to get up to what my current status is. It took years to get that. Let's see, what else do I need to draw for this character? I've got that arm in. I guess I gotta draw the Master Sword in as well. What did you miss? Not too much. Well, remember, dieting doesn't exactly mean that you have to eat only salad. Diet just means you have to be conscious of what you're eating and how much of it you're eating. You know, you gotta find the foods that are healthy for you, but that you enjoy eating as well. Like, there are healthy foods that I don't eat. I'm not a big fan of kale. I don't eat kale. Like, having a diet doesn't mean only eating salads. You can eat the things that you want, but you gotta figure out, like, okay, how many calories am I taking in? How many calories am I expending? How many carbs are in this food? Do I need to cut back? Do I need to find something that's lower carb? It's really just about balancing all that stuff. Ah, I see. Yeah, it takes a while. Like, it's not something you can instantly build up to in a lot of ways. Definitely need to open up and get some reference. Hopefully, yeah. Not my Google Classroom. Those are my students. Let's see. Link. Master Sword. Link to the past. Both my parents triathlon stuff. Oh. That's cool. Yeah. Pretty much Pan the Man. Asking real questions. Ooh, slow jog 5 miles. It's pretty good. More of a weightlifter. Yeah, you gotta find out, like, what works better for you, whether it's weights or whether it's cardio. You definitely need a balance of both of them to really get most benefit, but for the majority of, like, my first couple of years of working out, I never really weightlifted. It wasn't really till later that I started getting into that. And now I have a bunch of dumbbells and stuff that I'll lift out in the backyard. Diet is a sandwich. Oof, I wish I had a sandwich. Let's see. This is the Master Sword from Link to the Past. That's fairly accurate. That's not too bad. It doesn't really have a sheath, though. They pretty much always render them without a sheath. Interesting. Alright, open in new. Well, I guess I'll just have to make one up then. Let's see. Alright. Oh, not that. Not that either. Well, trying to figure out the perspective on this is kind of a little wonky. But it shouldn't be too bad. Awesome, thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know Chris makes fun of me all the time when it comes to how cold it gets, but I can't help it. I'm like my mom. You know, we both just get cold for no reason, or we're too hot for no reason. It's a lot of fun. No, yeah, for sure. You know, for some people, building muscle definitely helps when it comes to losing weight. So if you do both, it definitely helps out. I just know that some people just go a little too overboard, and they kind of kill themselves trying to lose weight, and like lifting heavy and doing like these crazy, hellish, like, workout schemes, and then they quit in 2 months, and it's like, well, yeah, you were doing something that wasn't fun. You weren't even enjoying the process of working out. And if you do that, yeah, of course you didn't last. Of course you didn't keep working out. It sucked. It wasn't fun. You gotta find something that you can at least do every single day and be like, that wasn't that bad. I could do that tomorrow. And that's kind of where I've gotten to the point when it comes to like running and working out. It's like, yeah, I could do that. I don't think I have a very good sense of perspective. A lot of it takes a lot of time. Even this, I feel like I'm cheating on. Chamba has a much better sense of perspective. He blows me out of the water when it comes to this stuff. If you haven't seen Jeffrey Cruz, known as Chamba, on Twitter or Instagram, you should follow their work. They've done a lot of work for Udon, which work directly with Capcom a lot. They've done some stuff for Marvel. They did the Venom the End comic, which came out not too long ago. Their art's rad. I love their stuff. Your job is now a workout. I totally get that. Hey, LJ. Yeah, that sheet looks alright. That's not too bad. But yeah, a lot of perspective stuff just comes down to the more you work at it, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like everything in art, there's really no trick when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You just kind of keep practicing it, and eventually you get kind of better at it. That's pretty much it. I'd like to say that there's some, you know, mysterious secret to it, but really, you just kind of keep working at it until eventually you kind of get a better idea of it. But getting that idea of it can take a while. You have to train your eye to eventually realize when things look wrong or when you should see things. I try and think of things geometrically the best I can and try and like reflect it in that manner. You know, not worried about making it too perfect, especially for this because it's a truncated kind of couchling version of it. I'm really just thinking of it in shapes and cylinders and hoping that I'm using that as like my guiding eye for a lot of this. I mean, if I wanted to, I could set up perspective lines to really kind of like figure out a ton of it, but a lot of it I'm kind of just eyeballing. And a lot of this specific Master Sword I'm basing on the original, which is a little bit of a simpler design. When I say original, I mean, you know, Link to the Past. Oh, that's interesting. I'm dumb. I was like, why is this looking the way it does? It's like, oh, right. This actually goes this way. It feeds into the sheath. I'm doofus. I'm a doofus. And a dweeb. That's pretty much messed up. Alright. Let's fix that. Oh, wow. Thanks, Gizmo. Thank you for the tier 1 gift. The God Tesseract Venom comic? Yeah, the one where he like takes the Tesseract and he makes all the clones of Venom and he's the last thing in the universe. Yeah, that one. Jeffrey Chamba Cruz worked on that. His sense of perspective is, it's like Bengus from the original Marvel vs. Capcom games. He's godlike when it comes to his sense of perspective. I asked him one time when I met him in San Francisco how he says, he's like, I just picture the camera in my head and I kind of think about how I would see it from that perspective, which didn't help me at all, but was still fun to talk to. Really chill guy. Super nice. Followed his work for years. He's always a cool person to interact with. Alright, that kind of works. You wouldn't really see that from one perspective from there. I'm wondering if it would feed in. Subs. What do subs do? I mean, subs are how we get revenue, for sure. Blue Lip, if you want to inform him what subs do, I believe it gives you access to different emotes on Twitch. I leave most of that stuff to Chris to figure out. I should know it. I would like to say I know it. I don't know it. There are ads when you start the stream, I believe. Not if you're waiting, but I think if you were to like jump out, we don't have mid ads on streams. I'm 90% sure that's still the case. Blue Lip would be a better informant. Chris would also be able to tell you way more than I would when it comes to that, which you're one of the co-founders of this channel. Yeah, I am. I still don't know. I leave a lot of that minutia to Chris for sure. I don't, that's not usually in my wheelhouse. I'm too busy usually with students and stuff, so I tend to forget. Subs get emotes, more couch coins, and probably other stuff. Yeah, that sounds about right, Jack. It's basically a way to support us too. Subs definitely help us out a ton. So if you have like a free, if you have Amazon Prime, you can give like free Twitch subs. You can give it to us, or you can give it to someone else too. Someone that you want to give it out to. But yeah, it basically gives you access to different emotes. Alright, I think that sheep looks good. It's a little truncated. I wonder if I have to adjust it. Yeah, I might want to actually angle it a little bit. Kind of make it a little bit longer, a little bit stockier. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, no. Yes, no, yes. Nope, that's not it either. Go back. Alright, I think I need to make the handle a little bit longer. That should work. A lot of it's because it's in this perspective view, and I'm kind of cheating a little bit too. With a lot of this, the handle shouldn't be this long. The sword should be a little bit longer, but it's a little bit of a forced perspective. So I'm kind of messing it with a little bit. Not too much. That should be accurate. Yeah, that's not terrible. Alright, so make a symbol, make a new thing, and let's try and fix this bad boy up. Probably gonna need to make this a little bit thinner, probably like 1.5. I mean, yeah, a lot of that, most of the channel running does go on Chris's end. I mean, we discuss everything, but because Chris is the main one who works on the computer where most of the stuff is done, yeah, he's one of the ones that handles the majority of like the daily ins and outs. Like, I have access to that stuff, but I trust him to kind of handle it when it comes to how he wants. Like, I set up all the Twitch stuff initially, and then I let him kind of go ahead with it. And since he's mostly does the solo streams, he's kind of set up a lot of that. I also just don't want to say something wrong, so I tend to defer with a lot of that. Chris handles all the uploads for YouTube. I handle making the art assets, very dumb commentary, and being tired all the time. Resident tired boy. If I was to make a t-shirt, it probably would just be Sleepy Sam, because I'm pretty much sleepy or cold, probably both at the same time. Alright, I kind of want to make this into separate parts. I kind of want to make one part of it into like the sheath. You have to create like multiple... You have to create like multiple parts when you're creating stuff in Adobe Animate and Adobe Flash. Like, the back part of the sheath needs to be separate from the front part because the sword has to slide in. So I think I want to do that with this too. But I also want to show a little bit of a bevel to it as well. At least it's not messing up like it was the other day, which is nice. Thanks, Valentara. I appreciate it. I like hanging out with all of ya. Alright, I'm going to kind of base this on Ocarina of Time a little bit. I'm kind of making it up because I can't find a picture of... Like... I'm trying to find Link from... Oh god, it's opened up a bunch of tabs. Don't do that. I don't need that many tabs. Go away. Let's see. Link's... Let's see. Link's... no. Link to the Past artwork. If I just do that, maybe that'll give me something. Still no sheath. A lot of the times he was just wielding the sword like willy-nilly. Nobody's business. No sheath or nothing. What a goofball. How do you not have a sheath for your sword? That just doesn't make sense. They just have a standard sheath for a lot of this stuff. Nothing too... Oh, here's a picture. So it looks like this is the closest we're gonna get. Is just a brown sheath, little strap across his chest, his little booties. And it looks like that's basically it. Alright, I guess I can kind of make it up then. I don't really have to follow along then. They don't really have much in terms of like that kind of design. Almost all the like traditional artwork is just him with the sword. That's fine. I guess I'll just kind of base it a little bit off. God, I love the original art for Link to the Past. Such a great game. I love that game so much. Ooh. That was the newer artwork I think they made by Capcom artists. Based on one of the originals? Ooh. That's neat. That's good stuff. That's probably not the Master Sword, so I guess I'll look up Master Sword from Ocarina. Hopefully nothing dirty comes up. I haven't checked chat in a couple seconds. Who's your favorite Hollow Knight character? I like Tizo a lot. I mean, obviously Zote is number one, but if we're talking about other characters that I like from Hollow Knight, Tizo, I really like, God, I'm forgetting his name. He's part of the not Phantom Troop. Phantom Troop is, what is it? That's Hunter x Hunter. The leader of the Grimm troop. His name's not just Grimm, is it? I know for everybody, they're like, you should know this. You played Hollow Knight twice. I should know this. The vampire bug. I like that guy. Grimm. I didn't want to say he was just Grimm, but yeah, Grimm. Grimm's probably one of the top ones for me. Grimm, Tiso. I like pretty much all the characters. Yeah, definitely Grimm. Grimm's probably my favorite character next to Zote. I like Hornet. Hornet's Void. We all know this. It's fact. If you like Master Sword Scabbard, alright, I'll try that, Jeff. Because I know they designed it for Ocarina of Time, but I didn't think they did it for Link to the Past. Let me try this, but for... Because since then, they've always designed a Scabbard, but for those, like, original ones, I don't remember there being, like, a definitive version of that. Like, you'll see this, but this seems like a fan design. This doesn't seem like a original design for it, whereas the Master Sword one, yeah, I remember that. This is not, I don't think, for Ocarina of Time. But yeah, Ocarina of Time had a Scabbard. Most of the other ones did. This kind of looks like it would be, but this seems like another one. Like, this is a fan-made one. I don't think there's a original Scabbard for the Master Sword. I think introduces Scabbards to the series. Yeah, so Ocarina of Time was the first one that had one that I can kind of recollect. So I guess I would just do like a parody off one of those. Like, based on like the original color scheme for Ocarina of Time, I'd imagine it would, not Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, I'd imagine it wouldn't be too complicated. Probably some metal bits here and there. I'll just kind of keep it simple on this design, something in between that and the original Ocarina of Time one. I'll use the Master Sword one from Twilight Princess as kind of like a baseline for it. What's your favorite Pokemon? And favorite Pokemon overall is definitely Squirtle. Squirtle and Scizor are my favorites. Favorite new Pokemon, as I said, is probably Phalanx. I really like Phalanx. Bisharp is becoming a new favorite, but they're nowhere near Scizor. Scizor and Squirtle are like top tier for me. Heracross is up there. Blaziken's really high up there too, just because my Blaziken would just cream everything. And I love Haunter. Haunter's another just top tier favorite. Like, top three are probably Haunter, Scizor, and Squirtle. I don't think it gets much higher than those three for me. Yeah, Ocarina of Time definitely has one. Twilight Princess has one. Like, they all have a sheath, but there was none for... Because I'm basing this one off Link to the Past, which was the first one that I played. So I'm kind of basing this design off that, more so than I am basing it on the more modern ones. Ooh, Ocelot's pretty good too. But yeah, hell, Haunter has always been my favorite of the ghost Pokemon. I've just always loved his design. I think part of it's from the anime, but the big tongue, the goofy expression, the floating arms, it's kind of like an all-in package, and I kind of love everything about it, honestly. Now, I don't want to make this one too complicated, mostly because since this is animation, I don't want to do too much, because I might have to draw this sheath in a different perspective if I'm not able to manipulate it. So I don't want to do too much in terms of design patterns, so I'm going to keep it fairly simple. Let's see. And let's kind of pull that in right here, give it a little bit of an indent so it shows a little bit of extra depth to it. We can also do another art stream where I do go over people's art. Only reason we didn't do that today is because I didn't think anyone had submitted anything. So if you do want to submit artwork and want me to review it and kind of go over it in like a what's what or a who's who, I'm totally down for that. You just gotta let me know, post in Scribble support and just say like, hey, I'd like you to go over this drawing. I'm totally down for that. This one, I didn't know we hadn't done one in a while. I thought about doing potentially an illustration I was working on, but I realized, hey, I kind of want to put some more work into this. So, you know, figured why not? Why not work on this for right now and then work on other stuff later? Especially because even though I had the sketches for the illustration I want to do next, I also just I also didn't know if I wanted to start on that yet. Yeah, I do want to do it. I have 3 illustrations for an idea that I've wanted to do for a little bit now. So I'll definitely be doing that soon. There'll definitely start being more art streams. For sure. I mean, they still won't be as common as us playing games, but now that October is over, it's easier for me to take over a Thursday or 2 from Chris and kind of be the one streaming. I think that's my groceries that just arrived. Hopefully Chris and Jen can handle it for me. I assumed that was going to be a lot later. Alright. I ordered groceries this morning. I was like, oh wait, I didn't realize until like 4 hours later. Yeah, you probably heard Zozo. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh right, I'm streaming. It is Thursday, isn't it? My bad. I didn't forget, I just forgot. Let's see. That's pretty much how I start every day. What do I have to do today? I don't remember. And then it'll usually dawn on me. It's like, oh right, I said I'd do that thing. Alright. I never forget. I just always forget. Alright, let's put that, pull that back. And let's go ahead and fill in some of these parts so it pops up. Oh, not that color. Just as a temporary color. A lot of times in illustration, not illustration, but, well, I guess in illustration too. When you're working in animation programs, I tend to not color anything in specifically at first. It's just getting the... I forgot what day of the week it is. I didn't forget that I had a stream. I just forgot that, like, hey, what's today? Oh, and then I woke up, it's like, oh yeah, today's Thursday. Right. Yeah, that checks out. That's totally what it's supposed to be. Alright, I've got that done. Let's go ahead and move the sheath over just ever so slightly. And the sword has to fit in, so it's going to be a warp perspective for the beginning of it. I'm just going to keep the scabbard pretty simple. Eventually I'll put in, like, I mean, it should probably have a Triforce on it somewhere. So I think I'll just stick in a Triforce right down here. Let's go ahead and color that in. I love Legend of Zelda. Like, top 2 favorite franchises, definitely Final Fantasy and Zelda. I don't think it's even close. I'd like to lie. Oh no, wait. Yeah, no, that's fair, because I would say Chrono Crosses and Chrono Trigger are my favorite series, but at the same time, there's only been 2 games. So, long-standing series. Chrono Trigger is probably not on the list just because it only had 2 games. Definitely those are my 2 favorite games. But in terms of like favorite franchises, like long-standing, it's definitely Zelda and definitely Final Fantasy at the top. I don't think I can debate it. I've played way too many hours of those. Played way too many of them to kind of say like, oh, there'd be something else. Like, no. A sheath or a scabbard? Is there a difference? If there's a difference, Jeff, let me know. I figured sheaths and scabbards were the same thing. I guess I'm making a scabbard. If you can tell me what the difference is, I'd be totally down for hearing it. Right now, I'm working on the sword itself. But yeah, I don't know when we're going to use this intro. It's just one of those intros that I was like, oh, I should do one of these. I don't know when we're going to use it. I don't have a start date. I don't know when the next Nintendo game we play is, but whenever we do, this will probably be in it, as long as I have it done in time. But yeah, no official, like, series that this is going to take place on. There's nothing that I have in mind. It's just that, hey, I did all those avatars with all the different expressions for me, Mike, and Chris. We should probably have a Nintendo intro to go with it, too. Scabbard is rigid, and a sheath is just a cloth or a leather covering. Oh, so definitely a scabbard then. It's a lot thicker. This is definitely more of a metal. It has a little bit of leather wrap maybe to what I end up doing, but in general, yeah, definitely a scabbard. Let's go ahead and fit that gem shape in. And use reference to make sure I draw the Master Sword correctly. Yeah, that's that'll work. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's go ahead and put that there. And let's put this over here. And they're kind of flat, but I'm going to go ahead and angle them, honestly, just a little bit higher. Just because. Kind of fill that in there. Show a little bit of the edge, because based on this angle of where the sword is, I should see a little bit of that depth, but probably not too much. So probably bring that in just ever so slightly. Did you guys have any interest in the new Hyrule Warriors game? I definitely have interest in it, but I just don't know if we're going to be covering it. I would like to play it. I played the demo and I enjoyed it, but I don't know if we're going to cover it for the channel. We could definitely consider it. But yeah, no immediate plans to. The bottom side right has 2 wings in the middle. If you could provide a link for me on that, I'd be totally down for seeing it, Giz. According to Zelda Wiki, the first time they started using scabbards was in Ocarina of Time. So I think a lot of those ones that are on the internet are just fan-made ones. I haven't found any official art that has it. All the official art that I've seen of the Master Sword from Link to the Past have like the red hilt blades and stuff. Not the red hilt and like kind of the more silvery appearance. Ooh, the scraping noise you hear when someone draws a sword in any movie or game is the dulling of the blade. It's bad for the sword. The trend originated from English cavalrymen who literally thought it sounded cool. That sounds about right. People are just like, that sounds neat. Let's do it. I totally believe that. I totally believe that 100%. Show a little bit more of that depth. I guess because based on this perspective, yeah, you would see a little bit more of it. Let's go ahead. You'd probably see a little bit of it starting to turn, honestly. So a lot of it when it comes down to perspective is really just trying to think through the process of what you would see when you're illustrating. Trying to think of it as three-dimensionally as possible, and then just kind of messing around and seeing if it actually works. I think it was actually more accurate with it was before, which would just be like probably lose a little bit of it as it's kind of going up till eventually it gets to that one point, and then you really just don't see it anymore until that perspective shifts. And sometimes you just have to get close enough. You know, you're not always going to be perfect with your perspective. It just happens. Yeah. Kind of bevel that up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, not by any means. I don't think I would see any of that bottom end though, because it's more tilted down at an angle. It's close enough. And then go ahead and start refining some of it. So part of it, since it's vectors, you can kind of go in and start really adjusting different parts. Ooh, not that far. Nope, nope. Pull this here. And pull that there. And that's good enough. Most of the time it's going to be seen so little, it doesn't really matter too much. Sorry, I just didn't see chat for a couple seconds. Just about any other country would use a lining in their scabbard to prevent that. That makes sense. I believe that completely. Post a pic of Team Rocket Grunt cosplay in Twitch chat and Discord fans interested. That sounds cool. I'll have to check it out later. Well, we appreciate all of you guys too. We appreciate everything that everyone here does for us. It's the reason we keep going. It's the reason why we do what we do. You know, if it wasn't for all of you, we never would have been around. It's been really cool to see how much this community has grown in the last... How many years have we been doing this now? 2.5, almost 3 years now? It's crazy. To think so much has changed in so little time. But yeah, even when we butt heads, we're having a good time. Alright, I think that's working. I think I'll just do it like that. I think that's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. When the sword is pulled out, it's probably going to look a little different anyways. So, doesn't matter too much. Doesn't have to be perfect. At the end of the day, it's never going to be perfect. Let's go ahead and take that. And kind of adjust there. I think that looks good. Alright. Now, I'm going to take this and put it in a separate group. Delete some of these edges. Solidify this into a fill. And then put a little bit of an end cap on it right here. You have to adjust that hilt just ever so slightly. Alright, let's put that there. And filter that just ever so slightly. Filter's not even the right word, but whatever. It's close enough. Taper. I should probably just use the word taper. Taper makes way more sense. Alright. Go ahead and put that there. Probably don't need to make that as long as I made it, but I wanted to make sure it's long enough for the whole hand of the couchling to fit. So I'm kind of messing with the perspective a little bit. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's close enough. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, I am more than happy. I love it when people promote our stuff. Thanks, Jeff. Like I said with art, it's all about consistency. Ever since we started the channel, it was all about, hey, can we do 2 videos a day? And let's go for it. Yeah, 22k plus is still wiki. It's still weird to think about that it's grown so much, because you look at those first Hollow Knight videos, like we said, we were like at 200 subs, and it wasn't until we started doing Godmaster that we kind of hit over 1k or something like that. It's crazy. And then even after that, like we were hitting like 1,000, 2,000 ish, like we're middle of Godmaster, and now we're at 22,000. It's kind of mind blowing, and it's also fun to just tell people, it's like, yeah, no, we do YouTube, and it's not just like a haha, yeah, that's cute. It's like, no, like seriously, we do YouTube. It's a respectable thing at this point where it's like, oh no, like you legit. It's like, yeah, Mad Lads is right. Proper Mad Lads. Though Chris hates British comedies, so maybe he'd prefer something different. Alright, I can taper off these parts now. Kind of start doing some thin and thick with a lot of these different edges. Kind of pull that in. By the way, spoiler alert, we will not be finishing this on this stream, just to let you know. There's just no way. It'll take way too long. But we'll be still hanging out for a little bit longer. I still want to at least finish this Master Sword. Guaranteed. That's crazy. Yeah, it was like 4k Valentire around then. It was like 7k. Like, yeah, we grew a lot in that first November phase. Advertising was hitting huge, so we were bringing a lot of people, and then just Godmaster was doing really, really well for us. So yeah, it's honestly just crazy how much it's grown in that amount of time. I think we were around 10K this time last year. And now we're at like just crossed over the 22, so like probably about like 10K new subs within a year, which is still great, still amazing, still insane. I'm not sure either, Gizmo, but you could always post it in the Discord under Scribble support. That could work too. But yeah, we're constantly blown away by the support that we get. We super appreciate all of you that stop by and hang out with us on Twitch and stream and listen to us rant, put up with my greed and hate. I'm sorry, people. I just can't stand him. He's just the worst creature in Pokemon I've ever seen. I apologize, and I don't apologize all at the same time. I apologize that I rant too much about him, but I don't apologize for the abomination that he is. Let's see. Push that up. Now I just gotta draw the sword itself. Yeah, it's not bad. Some of the perspective's off a little bit, but it's not enough to where it's a big deal. I think that's close enough. Alright, let's see. Master Sword's got a little bit of a bevel, and I want to make sure it fits the scabbard, so it's just going to be a little truncated. Yeah, that's awesome too. 500 on Twitch. Majority of that honestly goes to Chris. Chris puts in so much work on Twitch. It's astounding. Mostly because I don't think I couldn't hang as much on Twitch as he does, just because I think it's mostly due to teaching. Because I teach so much, that usually definitely drains me. But I do love hanging out on Sundays. I do love doing these art streams. And it is really cool to see how much Twitch has grown, especially with all the work that I put into the overlay and all the different components of it. It's nice to see that all that stuff has kind of panned out. That I'm really proud of. You know, I really love that. But yeah, majority of the praise should definitely go to Chris when it comes to the stream stuff. He puts in a ton of work when it comes into that, and he thinks about it constantly. Man's a machine. Let's go ahead and lower that a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to add a little bit of a bevel, but that's pretty good. I did too, but I'm not the one showing up on every stream. Chris puts in the grind. I put in the grind in a different way for sure. I'm not trying to undersell what I've done. But I do leave the majority of the Twitch burden on him to do when it comes to it. I'm like the behind the scenes Twitch person. I put in a lot of the initial work because I remember when he first like, hey, let's do Twitch. I was like, all right. Because immediately whenever I hear, let's do something for the channel, it's not that I'm against it. It's that I'm like, that's going to be a lot of work. Because I always want to put forth our best thing. Like when we started doing the pillow post, I'm like, well, I have to make an intro. He's like, well, you don't have to. I was like, no, I do. Because I've put so much work into the channel that if we do anything new, any kind of new segment, I want the presentation to be there. I want it to continue the presentation to get better and better, because I am a perfectionist when it comes to like making sure my art is on that level. Yeah, so like whenever we do something new, just like Chris puts his best foot forward when it comes to streaming, I put my best foot forward when it comes to making sure that the art is as high quality as I can make it within a reasonable time frame. That's always my goal. I'll put this at 0.5. I think I'm actually just going to do the bevel without an actual line attached to it. Kind of get it more seamless. I know that I'd probably be seeing a little bit more of the perspective, but this should be fine. Oops, let's reverse that. Blue, and then let's just do a light blue. None of these colors are what they're going to end up being. This is just literally just to set it up and like kind of give it a starting point. All this stuff is gonna like change to a different color and be more adjusted. Now I know it's just an ingrained kind of indent for the Triforce when it comes to the original, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a little bit more of a like push in versus like line work when it comes to this. Yeah, that should be fine. And then go ahead and just adjust that. And adjust this. Let's grab that. And pull that in. Pull that in. I need to find a darker blue so it's a little bit easier to see, because that is... it's a little all over. Or a darker purple. That's fine too. And that's good enough. Doesn't need to be super fancy. It's not an illustration. Alright. Let's go ahead and move this over just ever so slightly so I can delete some of this stuff. Alright. Make that one. Ooh. Go ahead and combine this. Now, it doesn't fit fully, but that's okay. Let's see how it seats in there. Yeah, it's not perfect, so I'm going to have to adjust some things when it comes to it. I probably should have drawn it while it was on top of it. Sorry, I missed chat for a while. Did you know ice is cold? Yeah, I do know ice is cold, just like my toes. Looks great. Can't wait for the pillow post. So, yeah, I can't wait for it either. It'll be a lot of fun. I really loved making the pillow post thing too. I do enjoy all the art that I make for the channel. I just hold myself to a certain standard, so I just know that, like, hey, sometimes I have to weather myself. So whenever I hear like, hey, we should do this, sometimes I buckle a bit and I kind of knee jerk because like I know myself. No, yeah, take your time, Lily. Take your time. I am in no rush. I definitely need to mess with this. I wonder if I need to... like, I drew that in there. Definitely this part is the one that's a little off. Like, it's not a perfect fit within the scabbard, which is fine. It doesn't have to be because you're not really going to see it. This is the part that I'm not really loving. Alright. You know what? I'm going to adjust this. It's going to be easier to adjust this one than it is actually going to be to adjust the other. Because if I remember right, yeah, I did not actually change this into a fill yet. So that'll be a little bit easier to manipulate. Nice. Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. Much better. Because really all in the animation this is going to do is it's going to move a little bit in that initial animation, but it's not going to... eventually there'll be a different sword model when it's actually swiping, because this is about a 2-3 frame animation. That's what's also nice about this. This one I'm definitely going a little bit overboard, but honestly that's because I love Zelda. It's, like I said, it's easily one of my favorites. I've played pretty much every game. Though I will let Chris play Breath of the Wild 2 on stream, because honestly, he'll make fun of it too much for me to want to sit there through the entire time. So I'll let him have his fun. Alright, let's adjust this. Nice. That said, I do want to play that DLC that came out for... what is it? Cadence of Hyrule. I would love eventually to go and play that. I really enjoyed that a lot. We were going to do it in October. Maybe we'll make time and do it during November. What is a dehydrated Ganondorf? It's what I am right now. Yeah, Prime subs don't automatically renew. You have to do it like over and over again, which is crazy. Yeah, I love the Screeby. Thank you to everyone that helped me create that, including Blue Lip and Pat. A lot of people helped with the creation of the Screeby. It wasn't a solo endeavor, for sure. Maybe one of these days I'll make a... maybe I'll animate the Screeby at one point, too. It really wouldn't be that hard. It just have to do like a little wing flap and kind of like a little scree thing. That'd actually be really easy at some point. Maybe have that as a Twitch emote at some point. Something that could pop up on screen, like a Screeby swarm. I would love to do... I would love to do like the Twitch train at some point, because that has happened a bunch of times. So I do have a checklist of things that I would like to add to the channel, mostly Twitch stuff. I'm working on this right now. After I do this, probably, yeah, I think Screeby would be fun. It kind of does look like Chris a little bit. Maybe a Screeby emote for Twitch, and then the Twitch train, I think, at some point. Because the Twitch train wouldn't really be that hard. You would just create all the cable cars, and then you would just have, like, different Couchlings in there, and all you just see them, like, you could repeat the same one over and over with the same animation, just a different face, and that would make it really easy. Sticking the Corgi in there, it'd be really easy to take care of that. There'd be no way to make it modular, but it'd be pretty easy to make like a 5-car train or something and take care of that. It'd probably just be something super simple though. It would be just like, hey, it rushes across the screen. I wouldn't do like a perspective shift or anything like that. That'd be... I need to put my priorities in place. So I probably would just do that as like it rushes through the area, maybe make it slow, something that would be simple, and probably something that would fill the bottom of the chat. I know, like, it'd be fun to do, like, that crazy animation, like the steam train that Game Grumps had, but I think that would take too long, especially for what I'd want to do. But, yeah, I think some extra Twitch things would be a good idea to get in there. And I can always isolate this Link Couchling at some point when it's all said and done. Let's see. That's what I thought. There's some extra doodads right there. Delete that. Alright, definitely need to get in his arm. Alright, let's get that hand in there. Yeah, I can't say when this will be done. Probably like a month or so from now, or something like that. It'll definitely be ready by the next Nintendo game we play, as long as the next Nintendo game isn't like next month. Hey, Lin Mao, how's it going? Screeby pillow. I mean, if they make it so you can make pillows, I'd be fine with putting it up there. Oh, you want to make a Screeby pillow itself? That'd actually be tight. That'd be cool. But yeah, I love little Screeby and the Corgo. They're fun characters. Oh, I mean cat. Right. Not Corgo. Cat. Clearly not a Corgi. Not at all. Clearly a cat. Good. I'm glad it's going good. Yeah. Which is a small lizard thing, but they were like, yeah. So Screeby is a reference to Final Fantasy XIV. I've always loved drawing little bee characters, and they had just released a little minion in Final Fantasy XIV, part of a quest line. It was called, what was it called? It was like the Great Serpent, but it's like this little kind of pudgy lizard-like thing, and it would go scree all the time. Super cute, super funny, and we were doing a Final Fantasy XIV illustration on the channel. You can go back and watch the old art streams to go see what it's about. And I just thought it was so much fun. I was like, oh, what if I made this into a emote? And it kind of just went from there. It kind of evolved from that standpoint. So you people have better memory than I do. Somehow we were talking about 14, and somehow I forgot that that was the origin of Screeby. Alright, that hand works. That'll fit right there. Do a little bit of a line right here, and I'm going to fill this in with, let's do this color just so I know where it's at. A lot of times when I'm working in Flash, I'll primarily use these like really off colors at the beginning and kind of keep them all separated. Yeah, the Great Serpent of Ronka. What started Corgo Cat? Oh, so Corgo Cat, I'm an idiot. That's first and foremost the primary thing of it. I was doing the animatic for the Patreon, which we started whenever we started it. Well, we were starting the Patreon, and I was doing the animatic phase for it, which is like the storyboards. And I didn't want to draw a really fancy corgi, so I just drew it as like a Dorito, just because I needed to have something really quick. And then I ended up really liking it. I was like, that's such a stupid drawing. What if I just left that in for the final animation? What if I just had a cleaned up version of it? And I don't know why, but I thought it'd be funny, like, Andrew Cat, because it kind of had cat ears. And I thought it would be funny, and then Chris thought it was funny too, and it's just kind of been our mascot. And we both love Zozo, which is Chris's dog, which is a corgi. So I thought, what better to have as like the mascot for the channel? But the cat part is just, it's just a dumb joke. I thought, like, what a weird, dumb juxtaposition. So yeah, that's kind of just how it kind of came out. That's how it really came to be. I just thought it'd be funny to have Zoe in there and something kind of dog. I've always been a dog person. I've grown up with dogs my whole life. And it just felt fitting to put Zoe in there somehow. Alright, let's get that base of that hand in there. But yeah, like most things for the channel, there's not like a wide revelation of it. It's just like, hey, I've got a really stupid idea. What if I did this? And most of the time Chris is like, yeah, go for it. I pretty much have like complete artistic freedom when it comes to the channel. I'll always run stuff by Chris, but for the most part, he's like, yeah, you know what you're doing. Go for it. And I'll like tell him what my idea is and like, hey, what do you think? We'll workshop it. And that's kind of how it goes. It's like when it comes to the video editing, I don't question Chris on like, hey, how are you gonna edit this video? It's like, nah, you do you. You know what you're doing. When it comes to like our own spaces of like creativity, it's like, nah, I know you know what you're doing. We're always on the same mindset when it comes to what kind of product we want to put forth. So I never have to question like, you know, whether or not he's gonna put out a good product. It's like Chris cares as much as I do, so I don't have to ever worry about that or ever like second guess anything. It's like, nah, he handles the video editing. I'm like, nah, he'll put us in good light. I don't really worry about any of that. Just like when it comes to like the art stuff, the only times I ever question like stuff that gets uploaded on the channel is if I notice there's an error with the art and I'd be like, hey, something got messed up, we gotta fix that. And it's not like he messed up, it's like, hey, most of the time it's me messing up and not telling him that was my intention. A lot of the time I think stuff up in my head, it's like, clearly this is obvious to everyone, not realizing that no, this isn't obvious to anyone but me, you dum-dum. Of course he didn't know what you meant. It's like, oh yeah, that's true. Why would that have made sense to anyone else? It wouldn't have. So most of the times it's faux pas on my part, where I'm like, oh right, I probably should have been more clear with that instruction. Otherwise, how would you have known? You can't read my mind. And I know Chris cares about the presentation too, so like I usually don't have to worry about it. He always tries to put my artwork in the best light possible. Because I really do care about how my stuff's presented. It means a lot to me. Like if I'm going to put all the time and effort into creating it, I want it to look exactly how I want to. Otherwise I do get frustrated, where it's just like, if it doesn't look exactly like I wanted, why did I put all the time in to do it? I guess that would be... No, that's more accurate. Yeah, it would look more like this. Alright, that's not too bad. Kind of scroll back a little bit so we actually see what it looks like on that. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I appreciated that, Lily. Yeah, Chris does a great job editing. I know he wishes he had more time to do like specific edits, but with how much we put out in terms of content, it's just not possible. It's why some people will like look at our streams and be like, oh, you know, this is easy, just go grind that game for 100 hours. It's like, you do realize that this isn't like a full-time job for most of us, right? Like my full-time job is teaching. I do this all on the side. And I love doing it. I totally do. But like, Chris is the only one that's basically full-time with the channel. He's the only one that works on it day in and day out. Which is why certain games sometimes we just don't end up playing, like big RPGs and stuff. Thanks, Lily. We appreciate everybody that stops by and everybody that really makes it worth doing, you know? Legitimately, if if people weren't like hadn't jumped on around Hollow Knight and really kind of jumped on board and made the Discord what it is, like Blue Lip and you, Valentara, and so many other people, it wouldn't be what it is. So it's nice to know that I can not worry about the community because community leaders such as yourselves take care of the majority of it. Like, I don't have to worry about, because the people, you all that are hanging out there all the time, make sure that it is a good place to be. So I usually don't have to worry about that anymore with like ne'er-do-wells and stuff of that nature. Oh, Jesus. Did he tell people at jury duty about that? About being a YouTuber? I don't think he's told me that story yet. I know we talked about jury duty. That was a whole thing. He was not a happy camper for that week. I know he was not exactly thrilled about jury duty, which, to his fair point, he had to serve a trial in his 20s for like 5 or 6 weeks or something crazy. So he's like, I did my time, and he did do his time. He took care of it. You know, Chris has done his due diligence when it came to jury duty type of deal. So I don't blame him for when he had to take go in for jury duty. Jen has to call in for jury duty stuff soon too. Jury duty sucks, especially in these especially with times like right now, where it's like, hey, normally, fine, it's not great, but hey, no problem. Pandemic kind of makes it a little bit like, hey, I maybe don't want to do jury duty. You know, things aren't exactly great. No worries, Valentara. And it's great to have you back, Valentara. Hadn't heard from you in a long time. Was like, hey, where'd they go? Who am I supposed to talk Final Fantasy XIV with on the channel? The only person else that understands my stupid gobbledygook for a lot of it. Alright, I definitely need to make this into a symbol. Alright, let's make that into a symbol so that transfers. I might need to make these into separate symbols. Yeah, I probably do. Well, let's break this down. Let's cut that. Let's push that around and push it to the front. And I'm going to make this into a symbol as well. Alright. I can probably get away with taking these. So for the most part, it's like single frame stuff, so it doesn't mean I have to take too much of it. But I could definitely transfer this to another frame. And if I make it a symbol, basically whatever changes I make to this symbol on this frame will adjust it on this frame as well. So by making it a symbol, it allows me to edit it on all frames that this symbol is present on. So it's like cutting in work. What is that? Cherry Duty. That sounds like something from Parks and Rec. So catching some fish on 14 during the Pokemon Let's Play, so it's confusing. I mean, yeah, Final Fantasy 14, if I ever refer to 14, it's Final Fantasy. That's like the only game that I play outside of the channel. Like, that's it. Occasionally I'll play stuff on my Switch, like I finished Hades, and I got through, I'm trying to beat, God, what is it? One Step from Eden, which is basically Mega Man Battle Network. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, hell. I was never good at Sonic Adventure when it came to being Biggs and trying to catch that stupid fish. So I don't know if I would be better, honestly. I don't know. I don't know. I did finish Hollow Knight, though. So I guess I have that again. I have that on my resume. I can definitely pull this down a little bit. I can probably just draw that arm in. I might even be able to take can't use that entirely, but I can at least put that in this frame right here. I think I can use the collar, but I definitely need to extend the arm. Yeah, I definitely need to extend the arm, but I think by keeping this the same, it's going to help overall in terms of making sure it feels a bit more consistent overall. Have it, come on. Yeah, I do love Sonic Adventure though, even though it's a terrible game. I love it all the same. I love it and I hate it, and I love it. Sonic Generations is good though. Takes the parts about Sonic Adventure that were good. It only has like one bad level, which is like the Sonic 06 levels. Those are not very good. But other than that, that game's solid. I really like Sonic Generations. I loved Adventure when I was growing up. I could just recognize that not all the levels in those games are very good. Biggs the Cats levels, they're not that great. The Amy levels aren't that good. Tails levels are alright. The Sonic levels are fine. The Knuckles levels are fine. It's really just some of the other characters don't hold up as well. For sure. Yeah, that works. Probably just pull the sheath down a little bit. I might actually just want to pull up the sword ever so slightly. Yeah, and you see a little bit of spark of that sheen. That'll work. And then eventually I'll start working in the arm, because it's really just going to go from like one frame in the sheath to like the next one is going to be fully extended, big swiping motion type of deal. Sonic Boom, the TV series. I never did watch it, but the TV series actually looked pretty good. Much better than the game. The games were not good. The TV show looked solid. I loved Sonic the Hedgehog growing up. I loved the cartoon shows. I was a big fan of Sonic Adventure and The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. 2 different shows, mind you, in the 90s. I love those. They were my favorite. When I was a kid, you know, like when you're like first grade or like kindergarten, I always pretended to be Sonic the Hedgehog. I always loved running around pretending to be that character. He was easily my favorite video game character growing up. Which is funny because Link is kind of, in some ways, kind of surpassed that, but I don't know why I found Sonic more relatable than I did Link. Maybe it's because Sonic talked. Maybe it's because I wanted to be the coolest, I wanted to be the cool character, which Sonic was. I don't know. Maybe the difference is just that Sonic had a TV show, and, well, Link had one, but it was in the 80s, and I did not witness it when I was a kid. So, yeah. Yeah, I was Sonic when I was like in... So I got my soccer team when I was a kid. I used to play for a soccer league when I was really young. In 2nd grade, I got my team all to agree to call ourselves Sonic the Hedgehogs, and one of the moms on the soccer team would dress up in a Sonic costume when we were kids. We sucked. I think we only won like 4 games out of like 12, but I took that as a moral victory that I was like, hey, what if we call ourselves the Hedgehogs? Like Sonic the Hedgehog. And my whole team was down for it. I was like, I win. I don't care what happens this season. I've already won. There's a no-lose scenario in this. I get to be Sonic the Hedgehog on the field. And then I was stuck as a defender the entire game. So I kind of just stood there most of the time, trying to block balls. There was an episode where all the characters were cursed with Dr. Eggman's evil genius intelligence, but it just gave Knuckles average intellect. Poor Knuckles. Poor Knuckles. Best Link is CDI Link. I don't know about that, but I'm willing to hear an argument. Okay, that looks a bit more on point. That is weird and bug-eyed. Let's get rid of you. And delete that. And... oh, did that not take both? Let's take both view. Copy. And paste that. I think you need to be a little bit more inward. Yeah, that adjusts too much. I think what I need to do... Maybe move this over a little bit. Okay, cool. The arrow keys are actually finally working again. Last night when I was trying to animate, it was not being friendly. It was kind of being a pain in the butt. That's a bit better. Oh, that is not better. Let's take these, copy, and I'm just gonna get rid of these. I'm just gonna delete them. Delete. And then take these off. Give them a little bit more of a, not mean look, but definitely enjoying it a little bit more. Take these, take that, copy, and delete. Delete? Yes? No? Maybe so? There's a little bit of a shift, but it happens so quickly. That should be fine. Okay. Apparently Tobin voices Little League soccer coach. Tobin Bell. Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, excuse me, princess. He's so hungry he can eat an Octorok. Can the other Links say that? I don't know. Technically all the Links speak, they just... you never hear them speak. So who knows? Who knows, Jack? Who knows? Probably like Philip CDI knows if those people are still around anymore. Nice. Well, the scabbard looks pretty good. I've got the hair parts. I definitely need to adjust those eyes. Let's see. This is the standard one. I can take these and kind of place those on the previous versions. Let's go ahead and lower that, make it smaller. How's that? Does that adjust fairly? Probably needs to be a little bit smaller. Wee bit. Probably like... maybe it does need to be a little bit bigger. That should be fine. A lot of animation comes down to it, just minor adjustments over time too. Copy. And, ooh, let's get rid of... Actually, let's paste that so I can kind of get an idea of where I want it. The eyes are definitely a little bit closer than what I normally have. Delete that, delete that, delete that. Yeah, that'll work. Copy this. Oh, I'm gonna have to adjust that face. This is when it starts getting real pixelated because it's so tiny and I can't zoom in anymore either. Alright, let's move that away. Check chat in just a second. God. Teeny, tiny eyeballs. Come on, scroll down. Oh, this is the problem I had the other day too. Oh. Nope. Why are you doing this? That's not right. Well, let's make you a little bit bigger. Take you and adjust you back to normal. Wow, thank you, Valentar. I am a nerd. I am the biggest nerd of all. I would love that. I love designing the different Couchling wares that I made. That was a ton of fun. Mike reps one of ours a ton. He's always wearing the Couchling Crew one now. move this over? Definitely needs to be moved over a little bit. Oh, can I move this over? It won't let me. It's definitely moving stuff in a lock position. Library, not assets. Document? Yeah, take that off. Ooh, well, can I move the mouth? No. Select the mouth. Do it. Okay. Not there, not there, not there. Take that off, take that off. What are you even selecting? Not that. Oh, bugger. Anyone play Bug Snacks yet? Or whatever that new PlayStation game is about? I know nothing about it. I just like the name of it. That's about it. Oh, let me select it. Maybe if I just keep on trying. Oh, what if I... No. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. It's fine! My OCD won't get to me at all. Hey CJ. I've gone full anime. Yeah, pretty much. All time, all day. Delirious. All kinds of things. Until I'm already waiting for another shirt I've ordered. I understand, Jack. No worries. Ah, I totally get that. Valentara. Nice. Nice bullet. I did not hell. Where you play as a tiny jumping spider. I have not heard of that. That sounds cool though. I'd love it if y'all had a zip up hoodie with a Couchling Crew logo on it. Oh. I totally get you, Lily. We can look into that. It's mostly what, unfortunately it's whatever whatever the YouTube store allows is kind of what we have. I'd love it because I like the zip-up hoodies better myself too. I'm not a big fan of pullover hoodies. We can keep that in mind if we can see if it's available, because pretty much the design should work on either. Too much anime will cause me to violently explode. That sounds awesome. You say that like it's a bad thing. Too much anime can only be a good thing. I have full confidence that's the absolute bar none truth. I can probably just take this arm and go with that through the entire way. I think that should be good. I do like this. That does seem good. It feels good with it like pulling his arm in. Feels quick. I do need to adjust some things. Like, what is this? Oh, it's his old arm. I don't need that anymore. It's like, why is his shoulder popping out? Okay, that looks good. Nice and easy. I don't need these collars anymore. I can delete stuff I don't need. I'll probably use that, but I don't know where. Don't need that. Oh, I can probably get rid of this. Delete, delete, delete. Because he's going to have a different arm. I guess I wouldn't need a different version of the scabbard being pulled. I could probably keep it with this arm as it's going. I probably don't need anything else per se. Though I think I lost his thumb. No. I think that's fine. Certain parts definitely need to be deleted and like changed. But for the most part, like, that's looking pretty good. There's really just like a couple of adjustments that need to be made. Like, it'll be holding that position all the way, and then it's gonna be probably like 3 or 4 drawings to kind of finish the scabbard pull. That's about it. I talked to Chris about it a while, and he said he would look into it, but I'm not sure if it's a possibility. I'll check right after this stream and see if it's a possibility. I'm completely tongue-tied. It's like my cheeks have been stung by a bee, like by the scree bee. Maybe it's because I've been talking all day and teaching all day. Definitely puffy cheeks or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. Looks like he just pulled away a giant bean out of his shirt. Yeah, it kind of does. Arms do look like bean bags. But yeah, I'm not sure about the zipper hoodie. I'll keep that in mind though, and I will look up and see if we can make that a possibility. I'm inclined to say it's probably no, just because if it's anything, based on most t-shirt sites and most like places that you order it, they try and make it as easy as possible, and zippers cost more, so they tend not to do them. And they can also order like the big hoodies in bulk cheaper. So I imagine yeah, I think most of the things don't have zipper hoodies. Gotcha. Alright, see you later, Valentara. I mean, I think I'm about to end this stream. We've been going for a while, and it's gonna be like, what is it? I'm still gonna need to finish the arm. I'm not gonna work on this anymore tonight. I feel like that's good. I would like to do another one. Either we can continue with this, or if anyone wants to submit some drawings for me to go over next time, I'm more than happy to go over those. So if you would like me to do a Scribble support stream where I go over your work, I would be more than happy to do that. Just drop it in the Discord channel. Hashtag it Scribble support. We'll throw it onto a stream. Usually when we do them, we cover about 3 to 4 drawings or so and kind of go through it from there. So it'll be a while since then. Well, I swear Chris checked on the hoodies for me back when you opened up the store and said they didn't offer zipper ones. That sounds about right, Valentara. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and that illustration looked cool, Blue Lip. Thank you for doing that. That was awesome. Ooh, that's cool, Gizmo. That's awesome. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas for sketch stuff they want to do, otherwise, we'll probably come back. Maybe we'll work on this some more. Maybe we'll go back to the D&D one. I am going to end up fumbling because credits don't work on my computer. I've tried it a bunch of times. I've never been able to get to work, so I apologize for credits not working. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for just being here. This was awesome. This is a high turnout art stream. Like I said, there'll be more of these in the future. We can try and aim for another one this month too. Maybe near the end of the month, we'll go and do another one on Thursdays, give Chris a break, and we'll continue working on this one. Alright, take care everybody. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. Please be safe out there. Be responsible. Be good to people. And I will see all of you fellow nerds later. Peace. And hopefully I can find where the end button is. There's so many unused like stream things in here. Where's the end scene? Where's the credits? Okay, credits are here. All right, I think I found the button. All right, good night, everybody.